Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the day, and today we're going to be talking about my record predictions for the Denver Broncos after signing J.K. Dobbins, who just had 905 rushing yards and 9 rushing touchdowns in only 13 games for the Los Angeles Chargers. They just signed J.K. Dobbins, and we're going to be talking about what I believe their record will be after signing J.K. Dobbins. Does this make a huge difference for me? I don't think so, but I think this definitely helps them out. Their running game needed some improvement. They did a great job in the second round drafting R.J. Harvey. I think he's a great addition, but you needed, I think, another addition. Now you've got a running back trio of J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, and Jaleel McLaughlin. So I really like the running back room for this Denver Broncos team. I think that has improved. I think they've also did a great thing this offseason with, Bo Nix last year had a great rookie season, right? But what was one thing he did have great last year? Two things that they've improved, I believe. He didn't have a great tight end. Now he's a 2-time Pro Bowler in Evan Ingram. And he didn't have a great running game. Javonte Williams obviously went to Dallas. And now they've added in J.K. Dobbins, who probably would have been a Pro Bowler if he would have stayed more healthy and hadn't had his 4-game stretch where he missed 4 games. Because he had over 900 rushing yards and nearly 10 rushing touchdowns in only 13 games. And not only that, but then Evan Ingram, 2-time Pro Bowler that they added in, and then they also added in R.J. Harvey. So I'm going to go over my record predictions for this Denver Broncos team. In Week 1, they'll play the Tennessee Titans at home. Me personally, I believe that is a win for the Denver Broncos. I also think they start off 2-0 as they face two AFC North. Sorry, I should know this as a Texans fan. AFC South opponents in the first 2 games. The Colts, I think this should be a harder game than Week 1. You've got to deal with Cam Ward's debut in Week 1. I think Cam Ward is going to be a great quarterback, but that's why rookie debut. That's why I'm going with the Broncos. But I think this is going to be a little bit harder for the Broncos in Week 2. We don't know who will be starting out there, whether it'll be Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones, but I think that should be a win for Denver on the road and go 2-0. But another road game, 2-game road trip, the Chargers in Week 3. I'm going with an L there. That could be a great revenge game for J.K. Dobbins. But I'm gonna go with the Chargers right there. And then Bengals Broncos. This is Monday Night Football. I'm going with the Broncos. The Bengals beat the Broncos in that game late in the season that could have been a great help for the Bengals to try to get in the playoffs, but the Broncos actually ended up getting into the playoffs anyways because the Broncos beat the crap out of the Chiefs. Maybe it could be a revenge for the Cincinnati Bengals to the Broncos, but I feel like the real team that needs to get revenge when we look at the Bengals probably needs to be the Kansas City Chiefs. The Broncos didn't tell the Chiefs to rest their starters. The Chiefs did that. Maybe the Broncos might be the team that's looking for revenge after that overtime loss last year in Cincinnati. Things are different now. Obviously this Denver offense has improved a little bit, but, Denver's at home, and I'm going with Denver at home to go 3-1. But I'm going to give them an L on the road against the reigning champions Philadelphia Eagles, which will take them to 3-2. Then the next week on October 12th, this is a London game, I believe. I'm not 100% sure if it's a London game, but it is a game out of the country against the New York Jets. I'm going with the Denver Broncos to win this game against the New York Jets and go to 4-2. Then Broncos play the other New York team. This is the game against the Giants in Denver. And I'm going with the Denver Broncos to win 2 straight games. That takes them to 5-2. Look, I've been talking about how I think the Dallas, as someone who hates the Dallas Cowboys, I think the Cowboys are going to be improved this year. But I'm not taking the Dallas Cowboys over Denver when Denver's at home. Give me the Denver Broncos to go 6-2. But going on the road against Houston, a great defense, great offense. I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos to lose against the Texans and then go to 6-3. But I think the Broncos get back on the win column, beating the Raiders, go 7-3. I'm going to go with the Broncos beating the Chiefs on November 16th. By the way, that Raiders game is Thursday Night Football. But I'm going to go with the Broncos beating the Chiefs at home. Reason I say this is because last year they did beat the Chiefs, but they did beat the Chiefs once, but that was in the season, and that wasn't against the Chiefs stars. But you look at the one time the Broncos and the Chiefs actually played each other, the Broncos came close. The Broncos should have won if it wasn't for the field goal in the game that got blocked. So I think the Broncos are more improved this year, and at home, I'm going to go with them to win because I think they're improved. But I'm going with them to be 8-3 after that. But I'm going to give them two straight losses: Washington and Las Vegas. Look, I think the same. I just talked about how Denver's improved. I think that should help. With them beating Kansas City, the real Kansas City once. But with Vegas, and this Vegas matchup is last. The Commanders matchup is this is after the bye, so that you should be rusty. You just beat the Kansas City Chiefs. You're coming off the bye. That's why I'm going with the Commanders in Washington. Sunday Night Football, I'm going with Washington. But then the Raiders. I think the Raiders are very improved. They've added Ashton Genty. They've added Geno Smith. They add Pete Carroll. They've had a lot of other improvements elsewhere as well. They added in good free agents defensively. So, I think that this is not a team. You swept them last year. They were terrible. I don't think this is a team you sweep again this year. I think they split. So that the Broncos go to 8-5 after that. Broncos host the Packers. I'm going to go with the Broncos winning this game, and they go to 9-5. But this is a 2-game homestand. I'm going to have them losing the last one. Jacksonville Jaguars coming to Denver. I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars coming into Denver and giving them their 6th loss, which will be 9-6. And I'm going to give them a second loss in a row. I do not think they will sweep the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs have been great on Christmas Day. And it's been a tradition recently. I'm going with the Chiefs winning. The Broncos would be 9-7. Try to get in a playoff spot. You'd have to win at home against the Chargers. I'm going to go with the Broncos winning that game against the Chargers and going to 10-7. You could get into the playoffs at 10-7. I could see them being 11-6 as well, but I'm going to say most likely record for this team is 10-7. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.